So some mornings you just wake up to money without even trying. Currently, just where I'm at right now on what I've got listed from this junk that I picked on the side of the road, I'm realistically looking at making $250.
Grilling hot dogs takes a lot of patience, intelligence, skill, and talent.
And this is the part that's really fun for me about what I do. Hey, how's it going? We are good to go, and this thing is ready to be listed and sold. So some mornings you just wake up to money without even trying. I got in my truck, came down here to get some donuts, and drove by a house in the neighborhood that had a bunch of stuff sitting out on the curb. So I got 3 bikes here that are incomplete, but I'm going to just try to sell them all together as parts. Maybe someone wants to work on them or finds value in them. For me, if I can make $50 just selling all those bikes to someone that maybe wants to fix them up and use them, that's a very quick use of my time. I have this projector screen, old school projector screen. There's a battery charger and also some kind of chainsaw hedge trimmer type thing back there. I don't know if either of those work, but it's totally worth a few minutes of my time to just test them out. And if it does, then that's another $50 easy, if not more, if both of those work. So this really could be $100 pretty easily, just waking up and driving to get some donuts. Okay, so to give you an update on the items that I picked up on this side of the road, the bikes, I've already photographed those. I put all 3 of them together for $50. There was a hedge trimmer. I pulled the pull start just to make sure the engine would turn over, but I'm not really knowledgeable with mechanical stuff, and I hate dealing with gas engine type tools. So I'm just listing that for $40, saying, hey, maybe it works fine, maybe it might need some repair. But I kind of looked it up on eBay, and that was like a mid-range price that people would sell it just for parts. So I got those listed. This is the projector screen. This was valued at $50. Tons of these were listed on eBay for $50. So I'm just going to try to sell this locally and not have to deal with shipping. Here is the battery charger. Now the battery charger is missing one of the battery clamps. And I looked this up and I kind of skimmed through things, and I think maybe I saw one for like $77 or something. But even if I profit $40 from this thing, if I could get it working, that's worth it to me. So I thought, well, let me see if I can just get a replacement clamp. I don't really know anything about this, and I actually looked up on ChatGPT. I just talked to ChatGPT like a person, and I'm kind of newer to using it. But I basically just said, hey, I've got a Schumacher battery charger. I'm missing one of the cables. How do I, because, they taped this, and I don't really know if this is the positive or negative. So I also need to know, well, do I need to get a red replacement or a black replacement? I didn't really know. So I literally just asked ChatGPT, how do I know which wire is which? And it basically said you need to have a multimeter, and it explained some steps on how to use the multimeter to test it.
Remember, kids, electricity is dangerous, so make sure a grown-up is nearby to supervise.
So I thought I remembered, I had a multimeter, or I thought I had some kind of electrical testing meter sitting on the fireplace. And sure enough, here it was. I hadn't actually used it. It was in the wrapping. I took it out of the wrapping. So we're just going to do this live, and I'm just going to follow the instructions that ChatGPT said. People say you can't really take it as fact. It's not necessarily going to be 100% true, but I'm just going to make an assumption that this is the correct instructions here. So, you know what? I'm looking at this, and I'm probably going to have to look at the instructions, because then from here, I don't know which color I need to have plugged into which one. So I'm going to look at the instructions, and then I'll come back here.
I put it at work. If you put it better pop it. Even your hoodie watch it. Put it at work.
Okay, so I'm back. So the instructions, it wasn't really easy to find where that might be. So I just went back to ChatGPT and I explained the situation. I wrote what I was trying to figure out. and it said that the black or white cable needed to be plugged into COM. And then depending upon what you're testing, you plug the red cable into one of these two ports. Now, I don't know if any of this is correct, right? I'm just going off of what ChatGPT is saying. And it said, go ahead and put it in the input. It said, don't worry about the 10A, all right? And then what it said was the red wire is going to give us our answers. Okay, so now you can see what's happening. So I've got these two cables that I'm trying to figure out which is which. So if I touch the red to this wire, I get a negative number. So what that means is the red is telling us the answer. The red is negative, so this actually is the black. They put black tape on this. If they were more responsible, they should have put some red tape on this. This clamp maybe didn't have some color coding to it, but this is confusing, right? Because this is black. And so it's a good thing I did this, because that would tell me this is actually the positive. And so when I swap these around, that's what I need to know, is what to plug into what, okay? And now when I do this, I get a positive number. See how it used to have a negative right there? Now it's positive, right? So that means that whatever the red one is what it is. This is our positive. So this part, you can get a red and black color-coded battery clamp, which is what this is, for $5 at Home Depot. And I actually have some items I need to go return at Home Depot. I got to go up there anyway. So I'll go spend $5 and swap this out. And now I'll be able to sell this thing and be good to go and potentially make another $50 just on this. So I've been paying attention to this house where I picked up this stuff, and I've been waiting to see if this thing was going to end up being put on the side of the road. And the minute I saw this thing sitting here, I was like, okay, I'm grabbing that. So that's got to be worth something, right? And so I'm just going to load that up in my truck, and we'll just go ahead and add that to the bounty. So I just loaded up the main part, but this is what part of that engine is on. And so I always have tools with me on my truck because of the odd jobs and handyman stuff that I do. So I'm just going to take this engine part off here, and I'm just going to leave that there, because that's just going to be a huge boat anchor that I'll be lugging around. It's not part of the actual tool. So I'm just going to take that piece off.
Watch this, I'ma show you how I do it. Like a pro, gotta hustle, get through it. No sweat, good when I'm moving. I'ma rise, listen to it.
So this is what I need, and we are good to go. Also, I decided this desk here has some potential too. That could be a computer desk for somebody, and it might be $40. I need to put a new handle on the drawer, and a lot of rooms can be small, and so they're looking for furniture that's more compact. So I'll give that a try as well.
I'ma rise, listen to it.
Also, it just shows you how quickly you have to act on this stuff, because here's some guys that totally would have grabbed that thing if I hadn't been here, but just like 5 minutes sooner. So currently, just where I'm at right now on what I've got listed from this junk that I picked on the side of the road, I'm realistically looking at making $250 just from picking this stuff up and then listing it. And this is the only thing right here that I actually had to put any work into at all. And so let's go to Home Depot and get these clamps on here. So the reason my channel is called Cash Cow Artist is because I have always been a creative person, whether it was making independent films or making comic books. Music was a huge part of my life. And so along the way, I found out about myself. I need to find a way to make money that's pretty relaxed, pretty easy, that gets paid pretty well for my time spent, so that I actually have the ability to do some of this creative stuff that I want to do. And one of the more recent things I've done is started to make these shirts. So this is a brand of shirt that I have created called Deep Tropic. And I spent a lot of time with this. Started out doing traditional t-shirts, but because of the type of work I do and just the lifestyle that I have, I really started to become a fan of this polyester fabric. It's kind of like that dry fit type, sporty kind of action wear type material that you could do pretty much anything with. You could go do sports in it. You could go work in it. You could go on vacation in it. It's just a very well-rounded, versatile type shirt. If you sweat in it, it dries really fast. So the name of this shirt is called Pacific Carve, and I like to kind of come up with a theme and a name for each shirt. And so this is an example of the type of thing I like to do in my free time, and one of the reasons I want to have some free time. So I get to do some of these different creative things that I like to do. So if you're interested in this shirt, I've got a site, deeptropic.com, and you could actually order this shirt. It's free shipping. So if you want to get your own Deep Tropic Pacific Carve shirt, just head over to deeptropic.com.
Grilling hot dogs takes a lot of patience, intelligence, skill, and talent. Deep Tropic threads. Collect them all.
All right, so I'm on my way to get the battery clamps and to return these Home Depot items. And I did a quick check, which was good that I did, to find out what size of battery clamps did I need. That was just another Chat GPT prompt that I asked in there. And it said, you really need ones that are 50 amps because that's the correct type of battery clamp for the model of battery charger that you have. Well, I looked it up in AutoZone, which there's one really near me. They sell some battery clamps that are rated up to 50 amps. And this is the part that's really fun for me about what I do. It allows me to just go on the journey of life, and you kind of get to feel like your day is an adventure. And so it's kind of a fun feeling to go on this hunt and see if I can solve this puzzle. And at the end of it, there's a monetary reward as well for figuring it out. And you got it for free on the side of the road. And so I love that I woke up today and there wasn't a plan about how I was going to go make money. It just happened. Hey, the adventure for today is here. Let's go on that adventure and make money in whatever way that we're going to make money today. So that's the part that makes it really fun. And I'm already here at AutoZone, so let's go see if we can get some battery clamps. Hey, how's it going? We are good to go, and this thing is ready to be listed and sold. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is just put a proper knob for this drawer. This just had this piece here, and we still actually need something to hold on to pull the drawer out. So I just went to the hardware store and found a knob, and then I purposefully purchased a screw that was longer than what I needed. I probably could have measured before I went, but I knew I could actually take a grinder and just cut this down. So you can see I've kind of got a marking there, because what I have to do is I have to get the screw through there, and then I also have to be able to screw that in, and then there's a distance to where that's still going to be poking out further than it needs to go. So I'm just going to take a grinder and cut that off, and then we'll just have a knob that's functioning, and then I'll be able to list this table. So I'm going to get the grinder out and cut that screw down. All right, that thing is done. We're ready to list this thing. So even before I got done editing this video, I had sold all 3 bikes together for $50. A guy had purchased them just to have a project to tinker on. It seemed like he was retired, and he said he was just wanting to work on them for something fun to do. I sold the engine stand pretty quickly to a guy that had a project car that he wanted to put the engine on and work on it. I sold the gas-powered hedge trimmer to a guy who bought it for his son, and he stood there and talked to me for a little bit, telling me about his son who was 14 years old and worked on all kinds of gas-powered engines like this and fixed them up and sold them and was just one of those engine-minded type people. So I just allowed the right person to come forward that was going to be the right match for it. So I got $40 without even being able to verify if the thing worked. That got me to $175 in just those 3 items, just for picking them up off the curb and putting them in my truck. And I still have 3 items left that I'm still going to sell, and those will easily get me to $250 or more. But anyway, that wraps up today. And if you're interested in living this same type of lifestyle, I'll put a link below to a free series I created that shows how to offer a high income service business in a very chill and relaxed, laid back way. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you in the next video where you're going to be shocked to see the phone call I got from a service company that handles maintenance issues for big commercial clients who didn't even blink an eye to pay me $400 to fix something that anyone could have solved. And this is for a store that if I said the name, anyone in the world would know what this company was. To go behind the scenes and see how it all played out, you can click right here to watch that video next.
Yeah.